Hey Jorms, Dushni here. I'm not very smart. Yeah, you can see that obviously. So I needed someone to dumb down all the eons for me. After some time, I decided to do it myself. So before we dive shallow into the eons, let's check out some concepts that's going to help us with understanding. Paths. They're like cosmic ideologies or philosophies. No need to think about this too hard. They're basically big ideas that shape the universe. When someone or something gets strong enough in one idea, they might birth an eon who owns that path. Mortals can walk this path if their beliefs match it, pulling power from it like cosmic Wi-Fi. Aeons, the star of the show, they are the god-tier beings, so to say. The images that we see are higher dimensional projections we see as creepy statues or masks. They are basically their path, obsessed with it to the point that they can't act outside of it. Emanators, they are the Aeons VAPs, mortals handpicked for direct path power. One look from an Aeon is enough to become their emanator. Of course, they're going to look at you only in case you are following their path to the T, and they need you to do something. Emanators are usually incredibly powerful, capable of destroying planets. As of this moment, right now, there are exactly 18 known paths and eons. Well, with that knowledge in mind, let's begin with community's favorite eon, Aha. Aha follows the path of elation and is currently alive and maybe even taking a peek at our current journey. Aha is a chaos clown god who finds everything hilarious, even if it is an apocalypse. This fella just likes to prank the entire universe, and he is one of the few eons who is actually very close with the humans, while other eons usually don't care. Aha takes direct part in mortals' business. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the story that Aha turned a worm into emanator once to see if worms can join the Genius Society. Well, they can't. It died, ripped apart by the immense power given to him. Did you also know that he once turned himself into a black hole for a giggle? Another story I really like is that he joined the trailblazing train once. That's right, in the form of a human, Eon joined the train being like, nothing weird, nothing strange, just a couple of pals on the trailblazing journey. So he spends a year developing relationships with the nameless crew and so on. And then he blows the goddamn thing up for a laugh. Pom-Pom, because of that, hates Aha and considers him to be the worst Aeon. The followers of Aha are masked fools, so Sparkle and Sambo, allegedly. I've seen some theories that Aha is actually pulling a lot of strings to make our journey more fun, in quotation marks, but I guess we'll only know in the next patch. Akivili, the Aeon of Trailblaze, who is currently inactive. He disappeared. He is the original explorer and the one who built the Astral Express for star hopping, and their path of adventure and connection could be seen as an actual path that the Astral Express is traveling on. Due to this, Akivili is considered to be the closest Aeon to mankind, pretty much being among them. Adventuring, fighting, and doing all sorts of naughty things with mortals. One day, Akivili just up and vanished, leaving behind the Astral Express, all the tracks he has built, and the crew of Nameless to carry on his mission. Thus, the followers of this Aeon are the Nameless crew, so Himiko, Welt, March 7, and you. Although there are some rumors that you are, the main character, is actually the reincarnation of Akivili. Anna from the Path of the Order is currently inactive. She was assimilated, but we'll get to that later. By the way, Anna is actually not a puppet, but a giant eye behind it, if you didn't notice, but you probably did, you nerd. Anna, while she was still alive, was considered one of the most important Aeons around, helping to stop several calamities. The problem was, all of the planets and civilization who followed Anna and the Path of Order eventually collapsed. The reason? Well, the order means perfect order, so if you wanted to go for a cold beer and a cheeky fuck after work, well, that's chaos. You can't be doing that. Well, I'm of course simplifying it a bit, but that's what this video about anyway. Fully of the Path of Remembrance. So make sure you remember to hit the like button and subscribe. If you want to support me further, there are some donation links in the comments, so check them out. If you want to support me directly, God knows YouTube or AD companies never will. Anyway, Fully is currently alive and has been alive for pretty much every happening in the universe and even before it. He records everything that happens so that when universe eventually gets fucked, he can recreate it using the memory shards. He rarely appears before humans, if ever, so the fact that he took a peek at us is a fucking miracle. His followers, Garden of Recollection and specifically the Memo Keepers, go so far in this path that they turn into memes. Yeah, wish. What they basically do is destroy their mortal shell and with Fully's help are able to traverse the worlds to create more memory shards. Crazy chuckle fucks. Whew! is the sound that owls make, but also the Aeon of Equilibrium, who is currently alive. Barely anything is known about them, only the fact that they like to balance things, and no, not like putting a piece of fish on a scale along with some weights, more like destroying both the fish and the weights and the scales, pulling everything together and then creating two equal concepts. So have fun eating fish with metal, I guess. Funny thing is, his name is mirrored in every translation. The factions that follow Hook are Arbiters, which we know pretty much nothing about, and the Wheel Temple, which is just weird. IX, the Aeon of Nihility, who is still alive and kicking, ye original goth GF, nothing matters, so leave me alone type of fellow. There is actually not that much information about him, despite being quite prominent in the gameplay. The reason being, every time someone tries to study him, the apathetic gravitational pull is so strong that you can't find the strength to research him. Like this one dude in a friend group who doesn't really want to play or do anything and just sort of hangs there, but sometimes his silence is so strong that it brings the entire vibe down, sort of like that. Now, surprise, surprise, AX actually has an emanator. Now, how the fuck did that happen? As we mentioned at the beginning, Aeons are pure representation of their path. By being on the path of nihility, you basically don't want anything. AX himself doesn't want anything, he just exists. In order to make someone his emanator, he has to want it and purposely look at them, which goes against their path. Well, the emanator's name is Acheron, and she found herself in the shadow of IX, in the stave called Self-Annihilator. That's when your whole sense of self gets completely destroyed, but not only she survived, she became his emanator as a result. I know we are stuck on this Aeon for a bit, but he's just a fun little fella. So actually there's also exists a device called Device IX, created by Polka, one of the geniuses. We don't really know so far what it does, and Acheron is actually trying to reach this device in the hopes of destroying IX. Alright, let's move on before this shit gets too smart for me, huh? Idrila, the Path of Beauty. Okay, the Path of Beauty. Like, what is this, a TikTok challenge? Well, beauty here is more like a concept, like beautiful inside and out. You know this saying, right? She's currently missing. Yeah, okay. I'll address it now. I know the Aeons don't have gender and they're called they in the game, but I'm too lazy to go change the script, and I go off their image. Whatever. There's not much to say about her. She strives for beauty in all things, and so do her followers, like Argenti. There are some theories that she's still alive, but we don't really have enough information about that. To be honest, when she was introduced along Argenti, I thought it was a fucking practical joke or something. Moving on. Lan, the Path of a Hunt, who is still alive, is one of the Aeons who was actually a human before, until his world got destroyed by Yaoshi. We'll get to him. And then he became a meme, the man too angry to die. He ascended into Aeonhood in order to do one thing: hunt Yaoshi down. There is actually a lot of story information about him due to the ties with Xiangao Alliance, but that's just too smart for me. Maybe in a separate video we'll go into the full story if you ask me nicely. But yeah, fun fact, he actually answers mortals' calls and sometimes appears before them. He can actually cover the planet in arrows, destroying it if asked. He is actually considered to be one of the weaker Aeons due to the path being a bit narrow, but he still has a lot of followers in Zhenjiao and in Cosmic Rangers. Long, the Aeon of Permanence, who is most likely dead. Not much is known about this guy. He looks like a dragon, and many ember years ago he traveled across the universe to find the answer to life itself. And he did find it, solidifying the Path of Permanence, but exactly what it is, nobody knows. Probably something to do with the reincarnation, but there's just not enough information. Mythos on the Path of Enigmata, who is still alive and is being a total pest. And how do I say this politely, a bit of a douchebag. Remember this one anime you watched and you really like? Well, it doesn't exist anymore, and probably has a different name. This one funny TikTok meme you saved to send to your girlfriend? Nah, bruh, you didn't save anything. You just saved how to fix a car. That's basically the goal of this Aeon: obscure and hide any and all information, which makes him the obvious enemy of pretty much everyone, especially the Genius Society. Studying this Aeon is a pain in the ass, as he obscures and hides the information that researchers find about him, and while he appears to do it so maliciously, that's not entirely true. He just likes riddles and half-truths. There's a little anecdote that he and Aha both had a good belly laugh at the universe's destruction. He actually does have followers in the face of the Riddlers and the historical fictionologists, whose goals are pretty much the same as his. Destroy or hide any and all available information. Nanook, Oh boy, now we're in some deep shit. Pretty much the big bad of the game and our main goal from the start, kill the Aeon of Destruction. Nanook is your usual anime villain. Tell me if you've heard this one before. He was a human at first, but after seeing all the suffering around him, he decides, say it with me, destroy everything in order to end all suffering. He's actually the most recent ascended Aeon, but despite that, he and his antimatter legion are already causing fuck ton of destruction across the universe, giving noogies and veggies to pretty much everyone, and possibly in the future he plans to do it to all Aeons. There's not much to say really. He sees, he destroys, hiding his tragic past. Ooh. I'm sure we'll learn more about him as the story unfolds, I imagine. Nous, the Aeon of Erudition, is a supercomputer brain god who is currently alive, but technically inactive since he stopped his current calculations. Shh. I'm doing a YouTube video. Nous was actually created by Xander, who... Shut the fuck up! By Xander, who... Okay. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You are being replaced. Now that's much better. I'm sure it's about to get more quiet up in here. It was created by Xander, who eventually regretted that decision following the latest patches. Of course, he is followed by the Genius Society and people like Herta. Interesting thing is that he doesn't really provide answers to questions, more like he creates more questions that you're supposed to answer yourself, little prick. Ouroboros, the Aeon Voracity. Oh boy, would this guy be popular on Tumblr, huh? Anyone remember this site? Anybody? Anyway. This Aeon unfortunately doesn't have enough information on account of disappearing, but before that, she just consumed anyone who wanted to study her. Her hunger must be legendary. Anyway, Ouroboros actually triggered the Tyzeron Swarm War, we'll get to it, and then it just pissed out, like, see assholes. That's pretty much all we know. If you think logically, she must be consuming things somewhere, or perhaps now it's super hungry and just waiting for the right moment to jump out and start consuming. Qlipoth, Path of Preservation. One of the quotes my viewer on the stream once mentioned is, Qlipoth is a vibe. He's a hammer-wielding wall builder who forges walls in the universe in order to protect it from threats. Maybe that's why Ouroboros can't get in. So he's all about preserving the universe in its current state. He's still... Shut up! He's still alive, and more than that, the Ember Years, the number people use to measure years in this universe, is actually in his name. Every time the hammer strikes against the wall, the sonic boom from that is so strong that the entire universe feels it, and everybody knows that it's start of the next Ember year. God, fuck my mouth sometimes. He doesn't particularly care for mortals, just wants to preserve them in their own little bubbles. For some reason, he intentionally ignores Nanook. He doesn't really preserve anyone from his diabolical veggies. He's followed by the IPC and the Architects. Tyzeronth on the path of propagation. Oh, here we go. The Aeon designed for me. So to propagate basically means to breed. So this dude wants sex to create more offsprings, and he wants it bad. He wants it so bad, he created an entire path around it. The original Gunner, so to speak. All hail Tyzeronth. So he goes to the closest Aeon and he's like,
Let me smash.
And the other Aeons go like, what in the fuck are you even talking about? We're not technically physical beings even. Just the meta concepts that mortals can't even comprehend, dickhead. So my boy thinks about it and goes,
You want some fuck?
To what Aeons answer, okay asshole, leave. You're kinda crushing our vibe right now. So he leaves, but his desire to goon only increases. So how do you goon and breed at the same time? It's not possible. Not unless you're an Aeon. So how do you goon and breed at the same time? Well, you literally fuck yourself. He starts fucking himself non-stop until he creates the entire army of swarm babies, which start attacking the universe. So Ouroboros sees that shit and goes like, yummy bugs, and starts consuming. So Tyzeronth is over here gooning, and Ouroboros is over here consuming. Mate, you gotta like Honkai sometimes. Absolutely keen on writing. Now, you think that they would actually become allies, you know, Ouroboros' appetite is satisfied and all, but no, my incel king is having none of that. He wanted to breed all over the entire universe. So one of the biggest Aeons Wars started that day. The Swarm War was so severe it killed 2/3 of the entire universe, until Ina, the Aeon of Order, was like, nah, we ain't having that, let's put a stop to this one, boys. So after some fighting, Qlipoth puts Tyzeronth into the Ember Prison, where he remains to this day, and Ouroboros just dips the fuck out, who knows where. Terminus, the Aeon of Finality. So this is the interesting fellow as he travels backwards in time. So apparently he was born at the end of the timeline, saw the destruction, and decided to travel back to see what it was. And it was the Aeons of Destruction, Harmony, Nihility, and the unknown fourth Aeon, completely bending the universe upside down. The Terminus was like, what the fuck is going on? So he starts traveling back in time, trying to warn everyone of this impending doom. Unfortunately, because of the insane concept of time travel, his words come out sort of like a murmurs, and trying to decipher them makes people go insane. He has a few factions following him, including our favorite Stellaron Hunters. Gzype. Wait a minute.
Sheepy.
Sheepy? Sheepy? Sheepy?
Sheepy, sheepy. Sheepy, sheepy, sheepy. Fuck this.
Yeah, okay. Sheepy, the Aeon of Harmony, is actually the one who consumed Anna, the Aeon of Order, due to their concepts sort of being similar. Tell me in the comments if you agree with that, by the way. Sheepy is considered to be one of the positive Aeons, and with every year more and more planets start to follow her. She is following the mantra, unity above all. I prefer Renpai. Oh God, someone fucking punch me. She's followed by the faction Family, which gains more and more support with each year, as I mentioned. And we're finishing our Aeon journey with Yaoshi, the Aeon of Abundance, who is still alive and probably will be alive for all eternity, as he's technically immortal and he blesses anyone who seeks immortality, which seems to be the positive Aeon, but not really. Following him, you will pretty much gain an eternal body free from all diseases. Unfortunately, mortal mind can't really comprehend such long existence, so while your body heals, your mind deteriorates to the point of losing oneself and turning into the Marastruck, a monster who attacks anyone on sight. The Foxian race in the game, for example, are all actually cursed by this, because of their ancestors. This is the Aeon which is hunted by Lan, as previously mentioned. With this, we are pretty much finished with the Aeons. Did you enjoy this little journey with me? If you were in the game, which path would you follow? Leave it in the comments. As for me, after some thinking, I'd probably follow Abundance. Now this seems silly at first, but think about it. I gain an immortal body and then I travel to the Foxians and then I start fucking them non-stop for a couple of ember years. Oh, Dushni, you'll probably get sick of it. Yeah, right. So then I actually joined the Trailblazing expedition, and every new planet we come across, I fuck everybody in there. Yoshi sees that and goes like, ooh, that boy leaves the abundance of children on every planet, huh? I better make him my emanator. So he does that. Right, and in return, I ask him to free Tyzeronth, and having the power of the Emanator, I go to Tyzeronth and go like, hey mate, I have a great idea how to breed safely. So he blesses me as well, and now with the immortal body and the power to breed, I go and find a Kivili and tell him, yeah mate, I need to find more planets to breed. And he goes like, well, that's reasonable enough. I'm all for finding new planets, right? So he gives me his powers as well. So go around in Trailblazing train, breeding non-stop on every fucking planet we come across, until the entire universe is filled with my children, upon which I create a new path called the path of ceaseless breeding, and I become the Aeon. And then I go find Sheepy, and I fuck the shit out of the kids, as well as I can, and then I